What are you guys' thoughts on the Club World Cup so far? So we've seen of the big clubs, the European clubs at least. We've seen Real Madrid, we've seen Man City, we've seen Inter Milan, we've seen Chelsea. What am I missing?
Real.
We've seen Real Madrid.
Inter Miami, Inter Milan.
Yeah, I mentioned Inter Milan already. So we've seen Dortmund. We've seen PSG and Atletico, right?
Yeah.
We've seen all the African clubs. We've seen Inter Milan and LAFC. So Inter Miami, we saw Messi. Al-Ali helped them, and I think we talked about Al-Ali when we previewed the Club World Cup. We said that they might surprise him, so I wasn't surprised that they were able to eke out a result against Inter Miami. Well, that was a really good game for a 0-0 game.
Yep. I think it was 1-1.
It was 0-0.
It was 0-0.
0-0, yeah.
0-0. No goals.
Yeah.
So
you know what we haven't seen? We haven't seen Juve.
We haven't seen Juve. Yeah.
Well, currently they are leading 4-0 against Al Ain.
And not entirely surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an interesting game. I mean, there's not much. The European teams have been very decent in the club.
No.
South American team.
No.
The South American teams have been dominating. I mean,
Yeah, that's why I used the word decent. I didn't say they were dominating. The European teams have been decent. So that is just the first round.
I think Atletico is maybe the only team that has disappointed. I think all the other teams have won their games relatively. I mean, I don't expect Dortmund to do really much, but they drew their game. They didn't lose.
Who? Real?
Dortmund.
Yeah, and Real drew too.
Real drew, but I mean, they played a good team, so I wasn't surprised about that result.
Inter drew as well.
Inter drew.
Yeah.
The big boys won.
And Benfica drew as well, 2-2.
Oh man, now you're messing up the list.
Porto drew as well against Palmeiras.
I mean, so that they're lesser European clubs. I didn't mention them in the big names.
Yeah.
But Benfica, Porto, Dortmund. I'm not expecting them to be in the semis, for example. Right?
Yeah.
So,
who has been the most impressive so far? Don't say Bayern because whoever they played was rubbish. It was
PSG. I didn't bother watching the Bayern game because I knew it was going to be a whiteout.
Yeah, that game was.
Auckland is probably, no disrespect, the worst team of the 32. Not just because they lost 10-0, but just based on what I know of Auckland.
They look like a youth team, to be honest. Watching them, they look like I was watching some.
And they're like a semi-pro team anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
that's why I said they have their 9 to 5s and they just come. It's like a side hustle for them.
Yeah.
That's a good word. You get like $10 million to play.
A lot of money.
So they go. I mean, probably life-changing money for them to be here.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you want to motivate them against whoever they're playing next, tell them there's big bonus. Maybe they'll play out.
I only watched a couple of games, but based on that, I was really impressed by PSG. I'll say that.
PSG has been the best team I've seen. I don't know what you guys think.
They don't have a hangover at all from.
I was going to say, I expected some kind of hangover.
Yeah, they
and I think I told you guys that, right? You guys were saying, maybe they partied after the Champions League. I'm like, that team that PSG have been seeing. Luis Enrique has got them moving like Barcelona.
Yeah.
Prime Barcelona.
So who are you guys tipping to win this Club World Cup? It's kind of too early, but we still like to hear it.
PSG.
I think PSG, yeah.
PSG for me.
Sticking to my pick, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Bold prediction.
Yeah, I wanna. You know what I always say? What I want versus what I'm predicting. They're two different things.
There we go again.
To win.
Okay, so what do you want versus what you think?
You know what I want? I want Chelsea to win, but if I'm to be sincere, I actually want to
pick
anyone but PSG.
So
I'm gonna pick Inter Milan. I know it's. I mean, they just came on Champions League final, so I think they still have something to prove.
Inter
Inter
Milan
is my prediction, but I want to, obviously.
The reason I'm not picking like Inter and Real Madrid is because they've just changed coaches. And while they might be good enough with the quality to make the quarters, maybe even semis, maybe even the finals, it takes time for a new coach's ideas. I mean, Courtois even said it today, right after the game. Courtois said that they've been with Ancelotti for 4 years, and that while they're trying as quickly as possible, they've been with Alonso for 9 days. While they're trying as quickly as possible to like take up what Alonso wants, he said it's a different way of defending for them and it's a different way of attacking. It takes time. He said they have automatisms. You know, there are some moves that you've done repeatedly for 4 years and now you're expecting me to change it in 10 days. Like, it takes time for the body to retrain itself. So that's why I'm not picking.
And Slot was new, although he has precision to, you know, teach them a thing or two.
It's 9 days.
And you won the league. So I think sometimes the new coach can also, there's that new coach fire that gets in the belly of players.
Yeah, Slot really changed that much.
Yeah.
He just copied
He
it.
didn't
Change much, and he also had a preseason. If you remember, Biodo and I talked about Liverpool like that we saw in preseason. We're like, this team looks dangerous.
I remember
Right.
Yaki reminding me.
Yeah,
I agree with you guys.
but Alonso hasn't had that time to work with them. Now, will we start seeing it over the summer? Maybe by the time they get into the quarters, we might be like, oh wow, like Real Madrid are not there yet, but man, this team is going to, you know, be strong in the Champions League. Maybe we'll see that, but right now I think it's too early.
Yeah, and also when Slot took over Liverpool, he was not taking over a team that was sort of struggling the year before. Yeah, they didn't contend maybe, but they were thereabouts. They didn't really struggle. Real Madrid has had one of their...
They had a struggle, yeah.
Yeah. So it's trying to put that together, I mean, I think that will take time. But yeah, looking at the Club World Cup though, I think PSG, even on paper, are the best team. But they're also playing like one as well.
Yeah.
That's at least just
Yep.
from what I've watched so far. Your boy, Charles, I don't know who it was that you were referring to earlier who predicted them to win back-to-back. He may not be that far off.
Yeah. Back-to-back Champions League.
Yeah.
That can happen again?
Yeah, with Luis Enrique as the coach, yeah, they can repeat. Yeah.
And maybe they will also go ahead and win. I mean, Man U go ahead and win after them, as the guy predicted. What do you think?
Right.
Because guys, let's be sincere.
To get there, they have to qualify for the.
You know, they have to be there first.
They have to qualify.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know what will happen to them this coming year.
They are not in Europa League, so you can't say, okay, maybe they will win the Europa League and qualify.
No, I'm saying, what if they win the EPL?
When?
This season. You guys don't believe in miracles?
Charles, come on.
No.
I want some of what you had before you came.
Whatever you real man.
Let me give you my first
Get off the weed.
So you know I'm not joking.
It's a hard one too.
Guys, Manchester United, they have a new coach, right? They're about to have a new squad. By the time
they have a new coach. Do they have a new coach?
Wait, let me land. Technically, they have a new coach.
They do?
And get 5 new players and make the new squad. They don't have Europa. They're not playing in Europe. So they only have to the league to actually focus on. It's still Manchester United. There's still that hunger within them. They can actually do something.
Is it there?
Maybe
they have to beat Man City. They have to beat Liverpool. They have to beat Arsenal.
They don't have to beat them. They can lose to Man City and Liverpool and still win the league.
I mean, they have to do better than those 4 teams.
Realistically,
the top 4 teams this season.
Charles, we hear you. They can win it. No one ever the whole team can. The whole.
I agree. It's possible.
I'm not rooting for them. I'm just saying it's possible. They're playing the EPL. It can happen.
I agree. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible these days. You know,
It's possible.
you just have to believe.
Also, let's talk offline about what you're taking these days for motivation.
Yes, I want some of that.
Offline.
Do share.
All right, guys. This today got to an hour. If you've been listening along with us and you've enjoyed the conversation and you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe. But As always, good having you guys on here. Enjoy the conversation as always. We'll catch you guys next time.
On the flip.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.